Hi, guys. Hi, guys. Everyone hear me? Just give me like a thumbs up or a heart or something if you can hear me. Just want to make sure everything is good. We'll get started in just a few minutes. Just finishing my coffee. Hi, all you guys. If you have blocks, grab some blocks. If you don't have blocks, I highly recommend getting them on like Amazon or something. You can use anything else. You can use books, you can use water bottles, just something that will give you a little lift for when you're, if you need to modify. I use blocks all the time. Also, maybe grab a strap. If you don't have a strap, this is my strap. I think this thing costs like $5. But you can use a blanket or a towel that you can just roll up, and it just helps extend your arms essentially. So grab that, grab some water or coffee or whatever. Save your boozy drinks for after. And yeah, I mean, I just made the suggestion that maybe like you make yourself some good brunch and you have a couple cocktails if you drink. If you don't, that's cool too. And just do something that's fun. Just treat yourself today. And it looks like here, anyways, in the North Shore of Mass, it's pretty sunny today. Or it's kind of sunny. It's kind of warm, so that's cool. Hi, guys. Hi, Morgan. It's nice to see you. And all my pals on here, Celeste, Mel, Allison, Ty, Lolo. And welcome anybody new who's coming along. And we'll get started in just a few minutes. Oh, also, you can use any Spotify list that you want. I will have mine playing in the background just so that I can also listen and have fun. If you follow me on Spotify, you can look for Dark Wave 2020. I know some people have said, they don't pay for the premium subscription, which I totally get. Us yoga teachers all do that because we have to. But you can make your own playlist. You can just put on anything that you like. I've been doing that for classes that I participate in. I have one of my devices with the screen with my teacher, and then I have my other device playing music. So it's kind of cool. So we'll get started in just a few minutes. All right, look at that. I talked so much that it's time to start. So why don't you guys start your music, lay down on your backs. super high-tech laptop computer speakers. So come onto your backs and let's just bring the feet into the mat and your knees about as wide as your mat to start. So just a nice place where you can knock your knees together. Broaden through your arms. My dog is upstairs right now with my sister who lives above me, and they're practicing from upstairs. And I can hear the two dogs chewing their bones to the floor. So that's Lucy's influence today, if that noise is coming through at all. Take a couple of breaths and just let yourself arrive here in the space. Close your eyes. Sunday morning. We're making it through another weekend. Let's turn this up just a little. And luckily, it's kind of nice out today. So maybe after this, you'll get a little bit of time outside. Just let the sun, imagine right now the sun sort of just resting on your face. I know this is dark wave, so, we're all like, oh, shun the sun, but from here, let's begin to gently and slowly rock the knees side to side. So take a long time to get there. Using your breath to drive the action, pull the belly button in towards your spine. Imagine that the belly button into the spine is like an anchor into the floor. So that's holding you in place. So you're keeping the integrity of the movement as you move your legs. I'm going to turn this down just a little. You guys keep going. As much as I love Robert Smith singing to me. So nice swaying from side to side. Maybe stopping along the way if there's anything that you need to kind of just check out. If something feels stiff, if something feels tight, if something feels like it just needs a couple of breaths. Feel empowered to stop there and to let yourself hang out. If you want, as you lay here, maybe some sort of intention for the day comes in. Really right now we're just kind of in this moment-to-moment time. So come back into stillness and let's walk the feet back to about hips width distance. We'll pull the knees in toward the chest, give them a squeeze. And see if you can flatten your whole spine along the mat. So you're making your spine super long. You're still pulling your belly button in toward your spine. So that's still your anchor. Let's bring the hands to the knees and start to make some circles with your low back. So you're drawing circles with the knees and the low back is following. Still keeping the belly engaged, moving in the other direction. So the greatest thing that you'll find with a regular yoga practice, if you are engaging your core, is that those muscles start to just develop on their own. It's a beautiful side effect. It's not the purpose, but it helps. It helps with our low back pain. It helps with any of that kind of stuff. So let's bring the left foot into the floor. Pull the right knee in towards your chest. And kind of angle the right knee towards your armpit, your right armpit. Give it a nice tug in. Keep that flat back. And remember, this is your practice, so take it to where it works for you. If there's something you don't do or that you don't want to do, just listen to your body. Let's extend the right leg toward the sky. It's like you're standing on your ceiling. Interlace your hands behind your right leg and feel that equal and opposite. So the hands pulling into the leg pushing into the hands. Maybe you extend the left leg long and you flex those toes. Maybe you don't. It's kind of like Warrior 3, right? But instead we're laying on the ground. But that back, take a moment right now to feel how level your hips and your back are, because we're going to come back to this. Rebend into the left knee, put the left foot into the floor. Start to bend into the right knee, bring that knee towards your armpit. You might grab the outer edge of the right foot, you might just hug behind the thigh. Left leg, you're going to start to let the left knee fall out, so you're kind of on the knife edge of your left foot, little half Supta Baddha Konasana. pull everything back into your chest. Give yourself a squeeze. And let's lay all the way down. So stretch out completely. Just making sure I don't knock my water glass over. It looks like it's beer in there, but it's not. It's some weird herbal concoction I drank. Bring your arms out wide, your feet out wide. Tadasana, star pose. Just take up lots of space here. And then either one leg at a time or maybe everything at once. Pull everything back in together if you can find that integration in the belly. So from here, let's put the right foot into the floor. Let's grab behind the back of the left leg. Extend the left leg to the ceiling. It's like you're standing on that ceiling. Legs into hand, hands into legs. Maybe you extend long on your right side with your toes flexed. So your feet are super strong, because imagine, once again, you're standing on the ceiling here. Belly is deep, back is flat and really pressed into the mat. Feel the stretch along the back of your leg. Re-bend into the right leg. Bend into the left knee so it comes angles towards your armpit. Either just hook behind that leg or the outside of the left foot. Let the right knee fall to the side. Half Supta Baddha Konasana with half Happy Baby. Your right arm can come out to the side if you want. Don't worry, we're going to get moving too. This is just a nice ease into your Sunday. And pull everything back in. And this time, let's roll up. Let's come to a seated position. I need a little more volume. So find that seated position. Anything that's comfortable. You can come into Sukhasana if you want. And just bring your hands down onto your knees for a moment. And just, it's a nice little grounding feeling. Nice and long through your spine. Just take a couple of breaths. Sunday morning. I know if you're listening to my playlist, it's Friday I'm in love, but Sunday morning. From here, let's just breathe. Reach up to the sky. Exhale down. So you're making lots of length with your arms. Feeling that big stretch in the shoulders. And again, this belly is pulled in toward your spine, so it's bracing you as you move through each of these movements, each of these poses. Up again. This time, hands come to heart center, Anjali Mudra. Maybe a long exhale. Maybe even lion's breath, which is when you stick your tongue out and you just let everything go. No one's watching you. Everyone's watching me right now, so just let it go. From here, let's roll over. Come into tabletop. Actually, come into tabletop, but bring your knees kind of wide. Your toes can be kind of together. And let's start to just make some big circles. So you're stirring your yoga pot in one direction and then in the other, finding some organic movement. This is such a nice little thing to do, even like on a regular basis when you wake up. Just like move around, get some primal movement in. Do that a few more times. And then come back into your tabletop. So maybe your toes are tucked, maybe they're flat. I like to have mine tucked. Fingers spread wide, index fingers facing forward. Take a moment before you go anywhere to stick your elbows out to the side and feel how terrible that feels. So if I was to go into a high plank like this, like I don't even want to do it. It's not going to help. So instead, it's like you're turning knobs away from each other. So what happens is that your elbow creases come forward and your biceps come forward. And now this is super strong. So feel that engagement. And then from here, as you inhale, drop your belly, show your heart. Exhale, pull the belly in, arch through your spine, cat pose. Inhale, draw the heart forward, really let the belly fall. Exhale, madcap through the spine. Do that a few more times. Maybe you start to shift forward and back. Maybe you roll a little bit side to side. So again, exploring your space on your mat. And then let's come back to a neutral spine. So the crown of your head's forward. You're kind of looking down at your mat, about a foot in front of you. Long in the back of the neck. Pull the belly button in. Feel the arms, and when your little knob turning away, tuck your toes, press your heels out just a little bit. Feel the outer glutes turn on. Lift your knees up about 2 inches. Press your hands into the mat as you push away. Bring the hips nice and high. Come into your downward facing dog. Maybe you start to pedal your feet. Maybe you notice how dirty your yoga mat is, like mine is. Nice long slope of your back. Hips nice and high. Let's come up onto the tippy toes. Bend into the knees, lay your chest onto your thighs, and then press back through your heels again. From here, rise up on your toes, roll through your spine, find that cat arch, come all the way forward into high plank. Your hips and heart are in line. Let's drop the knees down, shift forward. We'll come all the way down. You have right angles with your elbows here, chaturanga. Lay all the way down. Bring the hands into the mat. Press the hands in. Push the heart forward. Tops of the feet in. Maybe a little baby cobra, bhujangasana. Pull in through your belly. Come back through your tabletop. Push yourself high to the sky. You can always keep a little softness in your knees here. So keep the hips high, knees a little soft. Let's walk all the way to the front of your mat. Feet are about hips width distance. Knees soften again. Find a halfway lift. So your hands might come to, I'm going to get my blocks just nearby. They might come to blocks as you come into a halfway lift and make a nice figure 7 with your body. Conversely, they might come to your shins. So come here. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, press into your feet. Feel the heels press out just a little bit as you rise up. Bring your hands to heart center. When you press your heels out a little bit, your inner thighs roll back, and that puts you into the proper alignment. Inhale, sweep up. I'm just going to face you because we're just going to flow through this a little bit. Exhale, with your feet about hips width distance, belly deep. Come all the way back down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep up all the way to the sky. Hands to heart center. Inhale, sweep high. Exhale, forward fold. Nice long back. You're using your glutes and your belly to bring yourself down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise. Come all the way up. Hands to heart center. We'll do it one more time. This time we'll flow through. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Plant your hands. Step back. High plank. Take a moment here. Make sure that your belly is strong. Your legs are strong. You're turning those knobs away. Shift forward. Come down. Inhale, come up through your cobra or maybe upward facing. Again, there's lots of different bus stops. Take the one that works for you. We'll come back and over. Downward facing dog. Take your feet about as wide as the mat. Hands as wide as the mat. Bend into your knees. Frog dog. Shake your head, yes and no. Maybe sway your hips a little bit side to side. Bring your hands back to about shoulder width distance. And from here, we're going to jump forward, but you're going to jump your feet to the outside of your hands. It's much easier than jumping to the middle. So, jump to the outside of your hands. So here you are in a little low squat. From here, bring your hands to your hips. Come into a flat back. You bring your hands back down by your shins. Your feet are a little wider than your mat here. And then forward fold. Soften the knees again. Grab opposite elbows. Start to sway into one leg and the other. And just let yourself move organically. Move with your music. Come into center. Tense your fingers or use blocks. Halfway lift. Turn your toes out. You might need to widen your legs a little bit so that your knees stack over your ankles. We'll come up, goddess pose. Just fix my yoga pants. Come up, sweep up. Bring your hands out to this, kind of out in two different angles. So we're going to straighten through the legs. Star pose, Tarasana, just like we were doing when we were on the ground. Belly button deep. Maybe you look up, challenge your balance. Sort of showing up today. Bring your hands to heart center. Toes now parallel, facing forward. From here, soften the knees just a little bit. I'll turn to the side again so you can see that slight bend. And start to hinge forward at your hips. Come all the way down. Bend the knees a lot. Reach the fingers forward. Send the hips back with your ears between your biceps. Bring your hands back underneath your shoulders. Toe heel your feet back to about hips width distance. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands. Step back, high plank. Option to shift through low and move through vinyasa. You can always come into downward facing dog if that works better for you without the push-up. I'm going to pause for a moment, take a drink. Keep breathing in your downward facing dog. You can always come into child's pose if you want to. From here, raise your right leg to the sky. Keep your hip dialed down. On your next exhale, draw your right knee in towards your nose. Inhale high. Knee toward nose. You can always just keep your leg high if this doesn't work, but this is a nice little way to build those abdominal muscles. Inhale. Exhale high. This time open the hip. So you're bending into your right knee. You're stacking your right hip on top of the left. And then you're turning your upper body toward the mat. So you might soften your standing leg. Draw the right leg long. Bring it down next to the left. Stay here if you want. Or optional roll through. High plank. Shift forward and down. Chaturanga. Come through your upward facing or cobra. Meet in downward facing dog. Take a breath in. Then a long breath out. Raise your left leg. Keep the hips nice and level. On your next exhale, knee toward nose. Inhale high. Knee toward nose, exhale. Inhale high. Knee toward nose. Inhale high, open up, stack the left hip on top of the right. Soften the right knee a little bit so you can turn your upper body toward the mat so you're still nice and even with the mat. Keep dropping your chest toward your thigh. Re-straighten through your left leg. Bring your left foot down. Roll forward if you want. Shift forward and down. Chaturanga. Inhale through upward facing or through your cobra, and then we'll come back into child's pose. So knees together, knees wide, toes together. Reach your fingers forward. I know all my yogi teachers that may have joined doing this online is a lot harder because we usually don't demo the whole time we teach. So I'm out of breath from talking. When you're ready, let's meet in downward facing dog. So bring your hips nice and high. Find that alignment. Raise your right leg. Right knee towards your nose like we've been doing. Mad cat your spine. Step your right foot through this time. Low runner's lunge. Make sure you're on railroad tracks. There's a little space between your feet so that you're not on a tightrope. pulling through your belly. Actually, let's grab your blocks. So grab your blocks. We'll take a little pulse. Inhale forward. Exhale, straighten through your right leg. Try not to hyperextend this leg. A little softness in the knee. And then just find a little flow back and forth. Inhaling as you come forward. Exhaling as you straighten your hips back. Try to keep your hips nice and level. Spine wants to stay long, heart away from your hips. We'll meet back in low runner's lunge. Make sure your feet are stable here. Sweep up, crescent lunge. Sit down. Back knee can be a little bit bent here. The right hip is pulling back. The left hip's going forward. So it's a little equal and opposite so that you can make yourself nice and level. Belly deep. Now from here, let's get a little crazy. Drop the left knee down. A little bit of lunge action. Come back to your Anjaneyasana, crescent lunge. Come down, maybe you give the knee a tap. Be gentle. One more time down. Come back to your crescent lunge. Bring your left arm out in front of you. Right arm's gonna come behind you. So the more you bend this back knee, the more space you'll have in your sacrum. Twist. Now from here, left hand is going to reach forward and come down. Come into your nice easy twist here. Now you can have a block handy. You bring the right hand down on the inside of your right foot now. You're going to warrior two your back foot. So you're going to bring that heel down, front heel, back arch. Left hand can stay on the mat or come to a block. This right arm is going to sneak up onto your right thigh. We're going to open up, extended side angle pose. Conversely, your hand can stay down on a block or the floor if that's available. Now try to think about yourself between two panes of glass. You're nice and on one plane here. So the hips are kind of rolled underneath. Press into your right foot, press into your left foot. Rise all the way up, warrior two. So your right sits bone is pulling away from the left. That right knee is going toward your right pinky. Flip your front arm. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, come back to warrior two. And let's do a little flying warrior. So this time as we inhale, straighten through your right leg. Bring your hands up to the sky. Maybe they touch. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Inhale up, stay here now. Your hands are above your head. They could just be out to the side like this. They don't have to touch if that hurts your shoulders. Little softness in this knee. Bring your left hand down towards your left thigh. Right arm is, swap. Left arm up. Right hand's going to touch that thigh that's going out. We're going to hinge at the hips forward. This right hand will come to your thigh, maybe your shin. Nice flat back. Now from here, swing yourself up, coming into Trikonasana, just a little different way. And again, stick your hips out behind you for a second. And then roll them underneath so you're in that one pane of glass. You're fitting between the two slats. Trikonasana, triangle pose. Try to keep your shoulders away from your ears, spine nice and long. Bend into the right knee now, come back to warrior two. Let's windmill down. Maybe you grab blocks here. You're going to come onto the back, the ball of your back foot, my left foot here. Now, from here, let's just bring the blocks or the hands a little forward. We're going to bring that left leg up. We're coming into that warrior three, like we did on our backs. Softness, a little bit of buoyancy in your right knee. See if you can keep that left hip dropped. Bend into the right knee. Bring that left knee up toward your chest. Now your Karate Kid. Cross the left ankle over the right thigh. Sit down, standing figure four. Find one point of focus, your drishti. Mine's my jungle of plants that I have in front of me. Maybe your arms come out to the side or up toward the sky. You can also bring your hands to your hips if this works. Pull that left knee back up, straighten through your standing leg. We'll step back, crescent lunge again. Make sure you're on railroad tracks and that left hip is not kind of pushing back, but it's coming forward. Gently drop all the way down. Kind of imagine you're in some sort of like music video or something as you come all the way down. Just kidding. Bring your hands to blocks or your floor. Straighten through your right leg. Find a halfway lift. Softness in your extended leg. Heart away from hips as you grow a little longer in the spine. Keep flexing a lot through this right foot. Ardha Hanumanasana. Hello, hamstring. Let's shift forward, low runner's lunge. Plant the hands, step back, high plank. Optional vinyasa or just meet in downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths in your downward facing. Maybe you do a little lion's breath. Maybe you stick that tongue out. Maybe you get rid of whatever is clogging up your brain. That's what our practice does. The physical practice, the asana practice, helps take us out of the brain space, the mind space, and into our body. Because you're like, whoa, my leg's shaking. That's good. I've been doing a lot of classes with my teacher, and she was talking the other day about when you're shaking, it's like your brain is remapping neural patterns. Go with it. Left leg rises. Left knee towards your nose, step it through, low runner's lunge. Grab your blocks or the floor or some books, whatever you got. You're on railroad tracks. Inhale as you press forward with the heart. Exhale. Extend it through that leg. Parsvottanasana. Inhale and exhale. Find your own rhythm. Belly button deep. Just check in with that belly button. Is it still pulled in? All right, next time you're in a low runner's lunge, adjust your feet how you need to. Press down through your feet. Now scoop your hips under. Inhale as you come up. I'm just going to switch sides so that I'm going to be facing you rather than you guys just seeing my back. So from here, you're in this nice, strong crescent lunge. Let's take that little bit of a pulse up and down again. So we'll come down with that right knee, give it a tap. Come back up. You can always keep that little bit of a bend in the back knee. Come down one more time. Come back to your crescent. Bring your right hand in front of you. Left arm's going to come back. Soften through that back knee for space in the sacrum so that you can come into the twist. I'm just going to come out for a minute because remember, you're pulling up through your spine and then you're twisting your ribs around the spine. So if you're kind of crunched down, you can't twist as much. When you come up, you can twist more. Come back to center. Now, we'll bring that right hand forward and down on the inside. Left arm to the sky. Come into your twist. Both hands on the inside of your left foot now. Bring that right foot down so you're in warrior 2 feet. Now you can tempt these right fingers. You're just going to sneak that left arm up and then extend it side angle pose right onto the sky. Try to stack your hand over your shoulder. If you want, you can bring that arm forward if that works for you. From here, press into your feet, rise up, warrior 2. Flip your front palm, make sure that that left knee is going toward your left pinky toes and you're not collapsing it in because that feels not good. Reverse, and come back to warrior 2. Flip your palms up, we'll do some flying warriors. So we'll inhale, straighten through your left leg. Exhale, coming down. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. Stay right here. This time, right arm stays up. Left arm comes down toward your thigh. So, We're hinging at the hips forward here. Try not to hyperextend. Hinge at your hips. Nice flat back, belly is deep. This hand comes to your shin or your thigh, maybe a block. And then you open up, so you're taking those hips that are sticking out behind you and they're curling them underneath. You'll feel a big stretch along the side of the top hip. Rebend into your left leg, come back to warrior two. From here, we'll windmill down. Maybe you grab your blocks. Maybe you use the floor. From here, let's get yourself set up. Start to get light in your right toes. You'll come into just a little modified warrior three here. So if this hip is really coming up, see if you can drop it down just a little bit so the hips are nice and level. A little buoyancy in your standing leg. Hold that lifted leg up towards your chest, Karate Kid. Cross over your thigh, sit down. Standing figure four. Maybe the arms extend, you have one point of focus you're looking at. And then bring that knee back up towards your chest. So gently step up behind you, come back to your crescent. And then we'll drop that knee all the way down, like the music video. Bring your hands on either side of your foot. You can use blocks if you want. Straighten out. See if you can find a halfway lift here. A little softness in your left knee. Heart moves away from your hips. Go a little bit deeper. Shift forward. Plant your hands. Step back, optional vinyasa if you want, or you can come right back into downward facing dog. Take a breath there, and then drop your knees down, toes together, child's pose. Take a rest. If you're sweating, that's a good thing. I'm sweating. Getting those toxins moving, getting your prana moving. Maybe rock your third eye a little bit from side to side, just taking this moment to observe what your body's feeling. When we move and we get that prana moving, which is your life force, your blood flows, lymph, your nerve system activates in a different way than when you're sitting still. Let yourself just kind of process that and feel it. It's a buzz. It's like a little bit of a high just from moving your body. When you're ready, we'll come back into downward facing dog. Have your blocks handy near the front of your mat. Raise your right leg. Right knee toward your nose, step it through, low runner's lunge. Let's come back to that little warrior three. So you can use the blocks for a supported warrior three here. Or you can use the floor, so you can soften this knee a little bit. And what we're going to do is a little pulse here. So we're going to pulse between this modified warrior three and halfway lift. So you're going to try to isolate this left leg, pulling through your belly, hips nice and level. Try not to move anything in your body except this leg. Come to halfway lift. You can let the weight go into that foot for a second. Keep strong in the belly. Raise the left leg up. Come back to warrior three. Come all the way back to your halfway lift. So your back is super strong here. You're using your belly, your glutes, and your legs to support your low back. Okay? Your low back muscles are really small, so they just help brace, but they're not doing the heavy lifting. One more time. Stay here, warrior three. Drop the toes back. Come into crescent lunge. Sweep up. From here, we'll open up, come into our warrior two again. Now, here's a place you can use a strap. We're gonna dive. We're gonna come into. I'm not gonna dive. We're gonna. Though it's dark waves, so everybody wants to dive, right? That's not funny right now. We're gonna come into a humble warrior. So a strap or a towel. If you cannot make this fist behind you and keep a little bend in your elbows, use a strap, or bring your hands to your low back, or you can just come to your hips. So, warrior two. Maybe I'll face behind you this. I'll show you the back side here. So you're gonna bring your hands behind you with a strap together, hands on hips, hands on your low back. Curl the heart to the sky, and then dive down on the inside of your right leg. So I'll switch sides again so you can see what it looks like. So head nice and heavy. Try to take any hyperextension out of your knees. You're super strong in your legs here. Release the bind. Now reach your fingers off the side of your mat. So you're coming back to that like we did in the wide leg forward fold. But you're reaching your spine long. So your fingers are forward, your hips are back, and you're making your back nice and long and stretched and lots of space between each of your vertebrae. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders again. Take a look at your back toes, my left toes here. Turn them out. Let's Skandasana from side to side. You can use your hands. You might challenge your balance. You might pause. You might use no hands. Depends on how you feel. You might raise your arms to the sky. Let's come into center, toes facing off the side of your mat so you've got them parallel. Softness in the knees, find a halfway lift. Exhale, bend the knees a couple inches. Let's come back to that long spine again. You're reaching your fingers forward, hips sending back, your weight's in your heels. Hands underneath your shoulder blade. Walk to your back foot, your left foot. Press your hands into the mat. Step back, high plank. Shift forward, come down. Come through a little vinyasa. Raise your left leg high. Step it forward, low runner's lunge. Keep the right hand here, left arm up, easy twist. Both hands on the inside of the left foot. You're going to start to bring that right foot down. You're going to walk all the way back to the front of your mat. From here, step forward. Find a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep all the way up. Move all that around you. Come all the way back down. Step back, high plank. Optional vinyasa. Or just bring your hips nice and high. Downward facing. Just going to switch sides so you can see me, but stay right where you are. Keep breathing. Left leg rises. Left knee towards your nose. Step it through, low runner's lunge. Grab your blocks or just use your hands on the floor tented. We'll come back up. Warrior three, modified here. So, you might put your left hand in the block or the floor and take a feel on this right hip. So if it's coming up, see if you can curl it back down again because you want nice level hips. And we'll pulse here. Inhale, exhale. The only thing you're moving is that leg. Come into halfway lift, forward fold. Ardha Uttanasana. Inhale up. Exhale down. It's like you're like a toy, like a nutcracker or a toy soldier, like they're super stiff except for this one moving part. Helps with your glute building too. Come up here, warrior three. You might start to let go of the blocks, drop that back toe, come into your crescent lunge. Joy Division's playing on my playlist for me right now. I don't know about you guys. Hopefully it's a good song. Now from here, let's drop that back heel, come back to warrior two. So just a little alignment cue here with your warrior two. Again, your left knee is going towards your pinky toe. Imagine that your right hip point is pulling across your belly to the left, but then you're turning your ribs toward the side. Hands are going to come into that clasp behind your back, or a strap, hands on hips, or low back. Puff that heart forward, keep the integrity of the belly. Dive that left shoulder on the inside. Legs super strong. You're pressing down and away with your feet and together with your shins. So you got a couple different things going on. Release your hands. Reach them forward off the side of your mat. Send the hips back. Again, you're not leaning into your hands here at all. Everything's in the legs. Bring your hands underneath you. Turn the right toes out as you walk and you skandasana side to side. Work up the sweats, and then you can eat some delicious brunch. Maybe have a few porrantinis, whatever you feel like today. So next time we're going to switch again toward the back of your mat. Plant your hands, step back. Optional vinyasa. You might shift forward, come down, or you might just go into your downward facing dog. I'm knocking my blocks all over the place. Left leg. I'm sorry. Right leg? No, your left leg. Your left leg's forward. So left leg rises. Step it through. Plant your, no, maybe not. Whatever leg you didn't do last time. Bring your hand to the sky. Yeah, I think it's your right leg. Sorry. And then bring that hand to the inside and then walk all the way to the front of your mat. Mirroring. That's really tough for us. Step back. This time, just drop your knees wide, toes together. Bring your hips back. Downward, child's pose. Take a couple of breaths. Everybody who's been in an actual live class with me knows that I mix things up all the time. Take a couple of breaths in your child's pose. And let's actually walk the fingers off the right-hand side of the mat. So you're kind of getting a little side stretch now. So left hip will really press down. And when you press the left hip down and you reach to the side, you're stretching all along your side body, making it nice and long. Try not to collapse the other side. Long spine all the time. Let's walk back through the center and over to the other side. Class time is flying. Come back to center. And let's set up for half pigeon on your right side. So you can come into half pigeon either from downward facing dog. If that's something you practice, go for it. I'm going to demo it from tabletop for anybody who's maybe new to yoga. So what I like to do from tabletop is I stretch my right leg behind me, I pull it through, bring it into sort of a modified lunge, and then I walk my right foot toward my left. Bring that right knee so it's wider than my right hip. Come to half pigeon. If this is horribly uncomfortable for you, you can come onto your back for figure four. But if not, you can bring a block underneath your right hip. You can come down onto your forearms, maybe all the way down. For anybody who wants a block under their hip, it would just look like this. You just bring the block there. Gives you a little support. Come down, take a couple moments, breathe into it, try to keep your spine long. Using the support of blocks and props really helps us release. And our hips usually need a lot of releasing. guys sit back up, come back up to proud pigeon, tent your fingers, and then we're gonna come into Janu Shirshasana. So I'm just gonna ask you guys to put your right hand behind you, and then just roll onto your right hip, and you'll just come to face like I am. So you'll be facing me like the side of your mat. That right foot will come in towards your left thigh, inner thigh. And this might be another place you want to strap. So right now you're sort of facing with your legs wide, but we're gonna face toward our left leg, a left foot rather. So we're nice and square. You might crank a strap around the bottom of your foot, keep long in your spine, and then begin to hinge forward at your hips. Come into this any variation that works for you with the strap, but try not to round the back. So stay nice and long, heart still moving away from your hips here. Get into that hamstring a little bit more. And then let's come back up. Now take this left knee and you're just going to tuck it right behind the right foot here. So you're sitting kind of like Bambi. It's kind of like deer pose. Right hand comes down a little bit behind you. Sweep your left arm up. Press your hips forward. A little back extension here, baby back bend. It's kind of like a modified child's wild thing. And then come all the way down. I'm just going to have you guys pull your knees in towards your chest, give yourself a little squeeze, and then just come over so you're facing the back of your mat. Come back to either downward facing dog or from your tabletop. Left leg extends long behind you. Pull the left knee through, come to a low runner's lunge. Bring that left foot towards your right hand, set up for your half pigeon on the other side. Again, you can come into figure four on your back if this does not work for you. Take anything you need. Leg nice and long, spine nice and long, heart away from hips as you come down, maybe onto blocks, maybe onto forearms. Maybe you stay upright the whole time. It doesn't really matter as long as you have your knee wider than your hips. So if you're kind of stacked on top like this isn't doing anything for your hips. Go onto your back. Come into your figure four. There's no reason to force yourself into a pose if it's going to do more damage than good. So, take a few more breaths in your half pigeon. Come back up, proud pigeon. Left hand will come over to the left side of your body and you'll just lean onto that left hip so you can come back to this sort of modified wide-legged seat. Left foot in towards your right inner thigh. From here, turn yourself so you're square to your right leg, your right foot. Maybe you use a strap. You strap up that foot. Keep that foot nice and flexed here. Hinge at your hips as you begin to fold forward. Janu Shirshasana. Heart moving away from the hips, really stretching the hips back as you move the heart forward. Big hamstring stretch in the back of your leg. And let's come up, release your strap, bend into this right knee, tuck it behind the sole of the left foot. Left hand comes down, reach your right arm up, press the hips forward, little back extension, baby back bend. calm down. And then you can face whichever way you want. I'm just going to face the front of my mat again. Let's come into boat pose, Navasana. So your belly is deep, shoulders on your back, your knees and your ankles can be level. You could lift them up if that works for you. We're going to slowly lower down, as slow as you can, all the way down to your back. Let your arms and your legs go wide. Tarasana, star pose. Doesn't that feel so good? Maybe wiggle your hips a little bit just to make sure that they're nice and loose. Make sure everything's nice and flat to the ground rather than crunched up anywhere. Let's take a little restorative back bend. If you don't want to, you can take a more active one. A pillow works too for this. We're going to bend the knees, feet into the mat. About hips width distance. Lift the hips up. Don't place this under your actual butt, and don't put it underneath your low back. Look at how terrible that feels right there. Right on the bony low back. Right below your low back, your sacrum. So it's that bony flat bone. You'll feel it. And just come into a nice restorative Setu Bandhasana. Maybe bring the arms up over your head in a V, maybe in a T. Just feel some nice expansion in your chest, the heart space. I know a lot of us feel really closed off in our hearts right now because things are scary, things are weird, we have a new existence, but I try to keep that space open. Try to be patient. Things will pass. They will be different, but they will pass and things will feel okay again. Let's lift the hips up off the mat. Bring your feet about as wide as the mat. Bump the hips to the left. Knock the knees over to the right. Nice easy twist. If you want, you can stack that left leg on top of the right if that feels better for your twist. It's a little bit deeper. You might peek over your left shoulder. You're still staying nice and long in your spine. Your belly button's still kind of working here. Maybe you twist a little bit more. Come back to the center. Feet are as wide as the mat. Bump the hips over to the right. Drop the knees to the left. Legs can stay a little bit wider, or you can stack that right knee on top of the left. Maybe you peek over your right shoulder, and you feel the two halves of your body, so the lower extremities and the upper, moving into different directions. Feel the length in the spine, feel that beautiful twist and how nice it feels. Back to center. Let's bring the knees in toward our chest, and two options here for sort of the last pose before Shavasana. So either feet together, knees wide, or maybe you take a nice happy baby. So your choice. And then when you feel ready, start to lay yourself all the way down for Shavasana. Take up lots of space, maybe blocks or pillows underneath your knees. Take a scan from the top of your head all the way down to your toes. From your heart space all the way to your fingertips. And take a few rounds of really big cleansing breaths to open up your airways, to encourage calming, to encourage relaxation. So the more the body is relaxed, the more the mind will follow. And come into your Shavasana. Bring a little bit of awareness back to your body by wiggling your fingers and your toes. Maybe just gently rock your head side to side. And take a nice big breath in and just sigh it out. Just let it out. Make as many noises as you want. You're in your own home. And then come into a full body stretch. So you're just waking up. You're rotating your ankles and your wrists. Eventually roll over to your right side. Come into the fetal position. Let your low back release. And come from this place of rest and integration. That's really what Shavasana is. After we move, we integrate. And then coming into the fetal position really represents coming back into the next phase. So whatever it is that you're going to do with your day. So come up to a seated position. Anything works, half lotus, Sukhasana, kneeling, whatever you want. And let's just bring the hands back down onto your knees for a moment. Feel that grounding sensation. Grounding right now is so important. So You know, everyone has different levels of practice and where they are with their practice. I know that it's just coming to a quiet seat and breathing, and just letting my head empty out for a little while really helps me when I'm starting to feel overwhelmed. And then bring your hands into heart center, Anjali Mudra, 2 hemispheres of your body connecting, shoulders on your back, tall spine, belly button in. Bring your thumb knuckles to your third eye center. Let your elbows go a little wide. Show your heart to the sky. And then we bow forward. And recognize the light within one another. Namaste. Thank you all for sharing your practice with me today. I'll be offering more stuff coming up, and I'll post it on my Instagram and my Facebook. I'll probably post this video to YouTube, so if you want to do the flow again, it will be there, and it'll also be on Facebook. Yeah, and maybe you go have some brunch drinks with your friends on Zoom or on Facebook or whatever. I know a lot of local Salem places you can still support. You can still be picking up Notch beer. This would have been at Notch if things weren't like this. You can be learning cocktails from the Lobster Shanty and from Deacon Giles. So lots of different things you can be doing. If you're not a drinker, I brought this out. I would recommend to keep your immune system nice and supported. This is white pine needles. You see these everywhere. So you can boil these in water in a saucepan, reduce it by about half, and then make a nice little tea. It's super high in vitamin C, like way higher than oranges and citrus. So nice little trick from the First Nations people here in the Americas. That's how they stayed healthy. They didn't have citrus. So I will see you all soon, and I hope you have a lovely, lovely day. Get outside, drink some water before maybe you crack a beer. And I don't know. I miss everybody in person, and I hope to see you guys soon. Sat Nam. Namaste. Bye.